The villagers of Akara whispered about the day Papa Ajekpo's heart turned to stone. Some said it was the day his family was killed to avert the misfortune. Others claimed it was the moment he first tasted power. Some even said he killed his own brother, the chief, in order to become king. But one thing was certain. Papa Ajekpo's name became synonymous with terror, his eyes gleaming with malevolence as he watched the villagers cower before him. He had orchestrated the droughts that withered their crops, and now he demanded their most precious possessions in exchange for his blessings. The villagers trembled, knowing that defying him would bring more suffering. Papa Ajekpo's reign of terror began subtly, with whispers of dark rituals and forbidden pacts. He even used these dark powers to bind the rain, causing the once prosperous fields of Akara to turn to dust. Farmers watched in despair as their crops shriveled under the relentless sun. Most of the wells ran dry beside the river. The cries of thirsty children filled the air. But Papa Ajekpo remained unmoved. Instead, he demanded offerings from the villagers in exchange for lifting the drought. Fearful and desperate, the villagers lined up, holding out their treasured belongings with trembling hands. Mothers wept as they handed over their wedding jewelry, and farmers gave up their last healthy livestock. But Papa Ajekpo's cruelty did not stop there. He demanded tributes from the villagers, forcing them to give up their most precious possessions, family heirlooms, livestock, and many more in exchange for his protection. The villagers, now destitute and broken, complied with his demands, fearing the wrath that defiance would bring upon them. In an act of pure malevolence, Papa Ajekpo cursed the village children with a mysterious illness. The children lay in their beds, pale and feverish, their cries echoing through the night. Parents, desperate and exhausted, pleaded with Papa Ajekpo, offering everything they had for their children's health. With a twisted smile, he healed a few in exchange for further submission and valuable goods, enjoying the power he wielded over their lives. To maintain his grips on the village, Papa Ajekpo resorted to murder and intimidation. Those who dared to oppose him met grisly ends. A grim reminder of Papa Ajekpo's reach and ruthlessness, serving as a warning to all who might dare to resist him. Despite his current tyranny, Papa Ajekpo was not always a figure of fear. Once, he was a cow member of the royal family of Akara, known for his wisdom, fairness, and dedication to work. He was the firstborn son of his father and the only son of his mother, Domenyo, who was the first wife of the chief of Akara some time ago. Unfortunately for him, his mother passed away at a tender age, and the only person who truly loved him in that royal family was Chief Dela, his father. After his mother was deceased, the second wife of Chief Dela, Auntie Enyo, stepmother to Ajekpo, did what some stepmothers would always do. Auntie Enyo was extremely beautiful. Her dresses always fit the right places on her curves. But her character was the complete opposite of this natural endowment. She treated Ajekpo with much disdain, maltreated him so many times, and even starved him on certain occasions. But Ajekpo was always the calm type, so he never wanted to inform Chief Dela about the hardship his new wife was putting him through. So this maltreatment went on for 2 good years, after which Auntie Enyo gave birth to twins of opposite sex, and it didn't stop there. She made him do all the work in the house, along with the servants, from fetching firewood from the farm to sweeping the vast palace compound, among others, except cooking. Calling Ajekpo a murderer, that she would not have him poison her and the children. This accusation cut Ajekpo to the heart. Auntie Enyo, he began misty-eyed. Why do you always treat me harshly? Is it because I'm your stepson? Ajekpo, she shouted. You had better not get me started with you. I have been treating you very generously, you ungrateful child. And you are even lucky that you are still alive. Yo. That fateful evening, he missed his mother so much, with tears endlessly flowing down both cheeks. When Auntie Enyo's children, Jijo and Selom, grew up, they never helped Ajekpo with anything around the house, because their mother had said that royals must never partake in any servile work. As if that wasn't enough, they never respected him, even though he was the eldest child in the family. When he was not attending to matters in the palace or away from home, Chief Dela was always with Auntie Enyo and had little time for Ajekpo. The love for his firstborn son had grown cold when he married anew. It was only on a few occasions that he spoke to him or bought him something new. Those were the only days Ajekpo was happy in the household. So he came to a conclusion that people didn't care much, which made him harbor hatred in his heart all his childhood. Someday, I will become chief of Akara. I will have everything and all this pain will be no more. He consoled himself with those words every time he felt lonely. But his suffering went on for a very long time, until 20 years later, it got worse. Chief Dela suddenly passed away on one fateful afternoon. In his heart, news of his death was kept secret from the common people of Akara for a few days, until finally the elders briefed them and commenced the funeral rites of Chief Dela's demise. The ceremony wasn't even fully through when Auntie Enyo began buying the minds of the village elders for his son, Jijo, to be the next chief, even though they clearly knew that the throne was the right of the firstborn son, Ajekpo. With a promise of lands and tribute shares, Auntie Enyo managed to convince the majority of the village elders to side with her son. Thus, by the time the funeral rites were almost through and Akara needed the installment of a new king, Jijo, second-born son of the late Chief Dela, was made king. This made Ajekpo very furious because the day of Jijo's coronation and their intention to make him king was hidden from him. His stepmother had purposefully sent him on an errand to a neighboring village of Akara to fetch some elements from the chief of Delasi, necessary for the rites of his father. But by the time he returned after 2 days, the rushed coronation was over. Ajekpo sought after the priestess of Akara, who also knew nothing about the ceremony, for justice. Priestess Olabisi rose up in anger, assembled the village elders in the palace, and warned them about what they had done. The funeral rite for Chief Dela was not fully over, and even if Akara needed a new king, it was not the right time yet. But the village elders, bent on their greed, did not listen to the words of the priestess to destool Jijo from the throne. Therefore, she made it known to the elders concerning how angry they had made the gods. Someday, you shall all suffer for your injustice done in this kingdom. Then the gods shall be appeased. Olabisi foretold as she departed to her shrine. Ajekpo had lost all hope. Not only had he suffered from childhood since his mother died, but his future had now been stolen from him as well. He moved out of the palace following the events of the coronation and stayed with one relative of his mother's, Mama Bleu, near the village square. The issue became such a painful experience for him above all that he had endured. But there was nothing he could do about it, or at least not yet.